Welcome to In Heels with Keni Silva. Today's guest is organizational psychologist, executive coach, author, and a happiness expert who spent decades helping people to transform their lives by living a happier ones. Welcome, Dr. Marissa Pei.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And I wanted to ask you, before you started being an expert in happiness, how did you get to that place? What actually, life-changing events?
Well, I was an expert in unhappiness.
Okay.
So there's nothing like knowing what you don't want or knowing what you don't like than providing a contrast to know what you want or what you want more of.
But if you're constantly unhappy, how do you even know what happiness is?
Well, you know that you don't like where you are. And when when you know you don't like where you are, then that's sort of the bottom, the awareness. Okay, I'm tired of being tired. This isn't working. Why am I not happy? And a lot of us grow up with the formula that we our parents, society in America, it's the American dream.
Yeah.
If you go to the right school, you get a good job, you marry someone, you have children, you have nice vacations, nice things. That's the American dream, have fame and fortune. A lot of us don't get to that place. Or you have the other side of it where people do get to that place. And I call it professional mastery. Anthony Bourdain, Kate Spade, Robin Williams, they had what was supposed to bring them happiness, right? And then, but they didn't have personal mastery, self-sabotage, fear of failure, fear of success. Why me? Why am I not happy? Your own imposter syndrome, all of those. If you don't have personal mastery, then it doesn't matter what you have or who you are. You're not happy.
Yeah. So how do you start when, in your case, you were not happy?
Yes.
How did you start being happy, or what's the first steps?
Sure. I'm one of the 7 out of 10 of us who've had childhood trauma. And my honorable moniker, Oprah, I'm called the Asian Oprah. I was actually introduced to Oprah as the Asian Oprah. And she believes it's 8 out of 10. So in our country, especially, if you've had
8 out of 10 people
have had childhood trauma. Oh. Some psychologists say it's as high as 90%.
Even being in a married households.
Any household.
Any household.
Any household.
Just any child at all.
Any child.
Because, I mean, I don't know if you know, I wrote a whole book, Divorce and Opportunity, and my kids, right now, they're splitting homes, and I felt so much guilt. And a lot of people accuse me, well, you making your children unhappy, which I always said a happy mother will give their children happiness, because I'm a big believer. It's not how many parents you have. Some people don't have any, teaching them how to be happy and helping them to do, but being in the household with 2 parents who are not there because, or became different, seeing that is not a good example either. That's why I ask, okay, so the point is, it's all the kids, 8 out of 10, that are unhappy or going through a childhood trauma.
When you have something happen to you as a child, my kids went through divorce as well. And I felt guilty. And at the same time, I didn't feel guilty. What is better? Raising children in a home where the parents obviously don't bring out the best in each other and are not the best parents they could be. And at the same time, because of religion and society, somehow divorce is wrong or bad. All of this judgment on all of these things, including childhood trauma, make us think that when bad things happen to us, we are either being punished or there's something wrong. Now, if 7 out of 10 of us, or 8 out of 10, or 9 out of 10 of us have had childhood trauma, that's the majority. If it's the majority of us, why the fork do we think there's something wrong with us? There's nothing wrong with us, and pain in life is mandatory. Suffering from it is optional. So right from the get-go, if we are raised or we adopt BS belief systems that criticize ourselves first and foremost, or think that we are broken or damaged or never going to get ahead, never going to catch up, we are allowing that's oversized emotional baggage. And we drag that into our present and spew it into the future. So here's the first break of when you're a kid, and I don't know which camera I'm looking at, but I want to specifically look at people who are listening right now and they're resonating and saying, yeah, I had childhood trauma. You know, my mom shouldn't have done this, or my dad shouldn't have. I shouldn't have been hurt or punished or molested or, you know, criticized or ridiculed. All of those things that you went through as a child. I'm going to look at you straight and say, nothing you did brought that on. Nothing you did deserved you to be treated as you did. Nothing. Okay. If you're a child of divorce, nothing you did made your parents split up. Nothing you did made that marriage end. And it's not break or fall apart or it's a failure. It's not a failure. It's a change. Nothing you did. Now, whether you take what happened to you, in my case, it was extreme physical abuse, and then I was called fat and ugly and clumsy my whole life. So that message, I did nothing to deserve that. But if I bring that message, that BS, that belief system, and hold it close to me and live my life in the present moment through the lens of I deserve to be hurt, I deserve to be punished, there's something wrong with me, that's on me. And if I spew that, and if I look through the glasses of that past into my future, I don't deserve anything, I'm never going to amount to anything, that's on you, boo, too. That is one of the most damaging things to our happiness in ourselves, in the world, because somehow we believed that because we were punished or because something bad happened to us, that makes the rest of our life, we are damaged goods. And that is the furthest thing from the truth. But we have to take responsibility for thinking that we're damaged, thinking that there's something wrong with us. These things that happen to us, and I've heard it so many times, I don't even know who started it, but I've been saying for a long time, it's not what happened to you, it's what happened for you. Yeah. And it's your job to either see it that way or this way. I could spend my whole life being angry at my mom for what she did. How could she do that? She's a mother. Mother's supposed to love you. Mother's supposed to call you beautiful. Mother's supposed to do blah, 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 blah. I could do my whole life like that. And I did do a couple decades like that. And if you're doing that, hey, if it's not one thing, it's your mother. And there's only 2 times in life when you don't have mother issues, when you're born and when you die. So that's just the way it is. But it is your choice. It's always your choice. Always a choice. What you do with what happened, how you see what happened. You can use it as an excuse if it makes you feel better, but you will not have a happy life.
Yes. And it's so true. And I always tell, and you know, besides the divorce, my daughter, for example, she had adrenal tumor and it was a life changing for her age. She was 14. And I always tell, you know, my children, I said, you know, everything in life, it's either a lesson that you have to learn from it. It's not there to punish, exactly like you say.
Yes.
And even after divorce, I told my children, I said, you still have a loving mom and a loving dad. You still have a family. Just because now you are in 2 different homes, you didn't lose anything. And I think that's the biggest thing when women are going through divorce, especially because, yes, of course, society puts it, you failed something, but something just ran its course.
Yes. Yeah.
It was the end.
Yeah.
And I realized, especially with children, talking to my kids, you know, first I was like, oh my God, how am I even going to tell them? Because I don't want to break their hearts. But then I realized being honest and teaching them not to create that childhood trauma. And I said, I've never been through divorce, so we're going to get through it together. But I'll always be there. You can always ask me questions because I feel a lot of times leaving them in unknown creates even more things. And then, of course, going with my daughter. So now every time I also tell my kids, but look at your life. After this, what a next thing happens? So we look like at the rainbow, teaching them that it's not there to punish you, it's to learn and to grow from it. And a lot of times it's just words. But how do you actually do that?
Yeah. It's, I'm glad you recognize, we think that we can either save our children from doing something or suffering through something, or I make it really easy. We just do a little bit better than our parents did.
Yes. That's my thing.
That's it.
Truthfully, I'm like, I want to be like my mom. She was amazing mom. She grew up in Russia. I was born there. She had a different generation. As she calls it, well, I never seen love. And I said, well, mom, but now, like you can change yourself now. So I have a lot of talks with her and she lives with me and I absolutely love her. And I don't blame her for anything. Truthfully, she raised me like a girl I am today, and back then, especially, we didn't talk so much about feelings too. But the point is, I always said to myself, I want to be a different mother. And what I also learned, thank God, my daughter is 17 and she's she can express herself in the way that I had to step back and be like, well, maybe she's right. And a lot of times she would tell me what she needs as a child, because I also believe that, I was raised in a certain way and I was putting that towards my children, how I want to raise them. And then I realized after being divorced, my time now is only 50% physical time with my children. How can we actually maximize it? And we started talking, and teenagers years, as you know, it's hard. And then she's like, Mom, well, I actually want you to do this. Or I want you just to listen to me. And I realized my whole parenting strategy was a little bit different from what my kids needed. And I think it's hard for parents to accept that they were wrong, which I said, you know what? I want my kids to be happy. I always tell them. And I understand also for everybody, happiness is different.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I want my kids to be happy. I always tell them. And I understand also for everybody, happiness is different.
Yeah. The rule that I use when I do parent coaching and balance coaching is, because it's always, should we or shouldn't we, right? When's the time when you know that divorce is a better strategy than staying together? And I ask parents to can you look in your children's eyes and say with your heart, I did everything I could. We did everything we could to be parents together in the same home. And we've realized that we will do better as parents apart. You may not like it. You may not understand it. We don't fully understand it. We're not perfect. Does it take away from the fact that the best things that came out of us were you? No. So if you can get to that point, and you know that this is at the end of a chapter, I call it my book of romance. So that way, when you're not angry leaving, you are closing a chapter, a beautiful chapter, and it was however long. My sentence was 9.2 years. No, obviously a little more. but everything, I also, my two daughters are wonderful teachers as well. It's a balance, and that's what I'm known for. I'm known for hope and happiness, but I think above all, I'm known for balance, because anytime we think we know what's best for everyone else, or even ourselves, or especially our children, we're out of balance. Yes. So we can speak for ourselves and the truth of where we are, but it is dangerous to speak for anybody else. Everybody does the very best that they can with the time they have, the resources they have. Everybody does. So regret is a useful and useless emotion.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing the best you can, and if I can say that about myself and quit being so hard on myself, the number one block to claiming your birthright to happiness is perfectionism.
That's me. I'm working on it on every day. I'm like, okay, this is my gray area.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I even told you, like, okay, with my intro, I'm like, if I make a mistake, I'll fix it later.
Yeah.
Because I realized that not only I spent so much time, that at the end, it doesn't have any result, or it doesn't do anything except my personal frustration.
Yeah. Perfectionists are known for singing the song, I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I have this job. I'll be happy when I have this car. I'll be happy when I have this outfit. I'll be happy when I have this kid. I'll be happy when blah, 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 blah. I'll be happy when I'm married. I'll be happy when I'm divorced. So I'll be happy when. The when keeps moving. And so if you want an advanced, quick way into happiness, it is to recognize the dis-ease of perfectionism. Dis-ease, so no ease, no calm, because the perfectionist is always looking for what is not right, what is not perfect, what is not done. And that's a horrible way to live, because you're constantly, okay, someone will compliment you. Oh, you look da 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 da. And you go, yeah, but I still have to do this, or this isn't right, or whatever. There's a very famous photograph book. It's like a coffee table book. And I saw some beautiful covers on magazines. I only modeled 8 years in Canada. You modeled but it was a book with all models and they're all gorgeous. And they would have the picture of them. And then on the opposite side, it would have the model say, I don't like my lips, but all this. And this is where it's like, wow, if you are so beautiful and there's still things that you don't like, this is unhappiness, right? This is no personal mastery. Because if you can't approve of yourself without thinking about what you're being criticized about, you will never be happy. There's a beautiful saying, if there is no enemy within, then no one outside can hurt you.
Wow.
It's beautiful. So powerful, because I have to be okay with me. Yeah. I know.
But how to get to that point, to be okay with yourself? Especially since we were little and at school, they grade you, they compare you.
Yeah. And okay, so hands up, palms up in your lap. Gently close your eyes, taking a deep breath in through the nose. And then release. Soft shoulders, soft elbows, soft knees. Another deep breath in. Connecting with your mind this time instead of your body, and releasing all the stories and the drama. And one last deep breath in. Connecting with me through chi, eternal energy, the breath of life. And in this quiet, beautiful moment, look at yourself. Look at yourself through the eyes of a loving, lovable, and loved being. And they're saying, you're beautiful. You're wrapped in a warm blanket of worthiness. And just take that one deep breath in and just feel the love. Feel the soothing. If you feel your fingers tingling, that's normal. You're unblocking all of the self-hate, all of the self-criticism. Bring your hands together. We're just going to take that energy, bringing up to your face. Breathe that in and release. And when you're ready, come back to the room. Look at me in the eye.
Wow.
Do you like yourself now a little bit more?
I love myself.
Yeah.
But, ever since divorce, I've been on this, I don't want to call it healing journey. I want to call it loving life journey.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay, before you go into your head, I just want you to just anchor that feeling. You asked me the question, how do I start loving myself? And that's how you start to love yourself. You go into yourself. You see yourself through the eyes of love, of the energy of love that we all live in. Because that's where we come from, love. We go back into love when we die. And that energy is always around us, whether we recognize it or not. So how am I happy? In every moment, I ask myself, what is the best feeling thought I could have? So if I'm being self-critical, if I wake up with a fat and ugly attack, I say, thank you very much. I take that breath and I go in and I see myself the way love sees me. And that's the journey. The second step, practically, every morning on my show, I start every show, 1,720 to be exact. Wow. This morning, over 740 consecutive weeks. I start with breakfast, which is taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. So top of the bun, we look around. What are you grateful for outside of yourself? Bottom of the bun before you go to bed at night, instead of thinking about what I didn't finish, what I didn't do perfectly, who done me wrong. I plug the phone in outside of my room and I just go to sleep thinking about, what do I like about myself? What are some qualities, gifts, and abilities that I like about myself? I'm a good mom. I'm not perfect, but I'm a good mom. I'm caring. I'm loving. I'm smart. I'm funny. I'm fun-loving. I'm creative. And pretty much everybody who's watching and listening right now can say that about themselves. Not 100% of the time, but most of the time. And you fall asleep with that. That will also help you love yourself.
So it's consistency too. It's every day. Besides gratitude, which I do, because it really helps.
Yes.
This is especially for people like me. We start now paying attention to all the good things.
Yes, that is key.
That's
that
the
is
key.
Absolutely key, because you're not going to get it. I'm the only show that does not talk about headlines. I never talk about what's on the news. And people go, oh, Dr. Marissa, how can you do that? You need to be in the know. No, I don't. No. I don't need to know what people or the world's going to hell in a handbasket. That's what is there. So you'll watch the commercials. There's no one putting a gun to your head to watch the news. Nobody. There will always be a natural disaster, a corrupt someone in the government, and someone doing something bad to someone else. Yes. That's the news. Right?
Yes.
I agree. Every news.
Different names, different cities,
different countries, but it's
same
thing.
Same.
Yes. All the same. So I make my news, right? I make the focus of every show is to learn something new and to laugh. I mean, that's it. It's as simple as that. So the show's called Take My Advice. I'm not using it.
I love it because we learn through our whole life.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's why I think the life is so beautiful. It's never enough. You can learn every single day for the rest of your life.
I learn something new every single day. I make it. If it doesn't come up naturally, I'll go look for it. But it always comes up naturally because I've been very grateful and blessed to have amazing guests on the show and co-hosts and series. And 14 years is a lot of time. But I'm the oldest podcast show. I was doing podcasts before they called them podcasts, but I'm the oldest running Asian woman podcast show. And I think I'm in the top 8 of women. So I'm really grateful for that. Thank you.
After interviewing all these people, what do you think they all have in common in the relationship with happiness, or what things they do?
Yeah, it's that professional versus personal mastery. So I've had Corey Feldman. I've interviewed Halle Berry, John Travolta, Quincy Jones on carpets. I've had Dawn Wells, who was Marianne from Gilligan's Island. I've had half of the cast of Happy Days and the Waltons, Little House on the Prairie. I'm dating myself here. I have had some younger people too, but what is very apparent is happiness is a choice.
Do you think success brings happiness or no?
the relationship between success and happiness it's almost not related, right? Because they did a studies, the happy meter, the happiest energy came out of this group of children dying of AIDS in Africa. Okay. So, success, right?
Yes.
I'm a business psychologist. I work with C-suite leaders who make more money than I'll ever see, but, like ridiculous, like $1.2 million a year or something like that. Are they happy? No. Are they successful? Yes. But in my mind, they're not successful because they can't even enjoy what they have. It's meaningless. So you think about all the people on their deathbed. Did they say, if I had only made another million or billion,
Yes.
Did they say that? No. Look at all of the people with money now who are in their sunset years. What are they doing? They're looking for meaning in their life, and they're realizing that it's all about relationships, good, healthy relationships. Yes. It's not about where you go on your vacation. If you cannot be good with you, it doesn't matter what you have or where you go, because you're bringing yourself with you. Exactly. And if I can't be good with myself, I'm 88% fabulous. 12% of the time I step in it. And when I do step in it, I'm okay. Oh, well, I'm not perfect. Okie dokie. I'm not going to spend time beating myself up over something that was human. Just not going to do it. Am I going to keep doing it? Probably not. I don't like the consequences. I hate apologizing. So I know that about myself.
But, well, I hate it. I think all of us, it's the ego thing. But, I learned a lot of time it's so much easier to say, I'm sorry, and just release it and move forward without carrying it forward, whatever.
As long as you're not saying sorry all the time. If you say sorry all the time, people don't even believe you. Yeah.
But I feel like these days also, people just want to hear that. They don't really care if you mean it or not. It just has a meaning to them in a more like, okay, well, you apologize, let's move on. But going to the social media these days, do you think Instagram and all the social media is actually killing happiness?
Personal choice. It's always a personal choice. If you are not in touch with yourself enough to know what is reality and what is reality, what isn't reality, and who cares anyways? Do you ask yourself, does this even matter to me? I mean, if every person before they scrolled on a story or touched this or whatever, the first question I ask them is, can you control it? Can you change it? Then why are you focused on it? So first question, does it make you feel good or not good? It makes me feel like crap. I hate this. I hate that. I can't believe it. Okay, that's not good. That's not a healthy. That would be no. That's a no. Okay. Now, can you change it? Can you control it? Government, politics, policy. No, I can't. I can't. Price of eggs, price of gas. No, I can't. So I have a choice now. I can either continue to focus on things that I cannot control and I don't like, or take a breath and go, I wonder if there's something out there that I would like to look at that actually makes me happier. Happiness is your own responsibility. If you're saying, if they did this, I would be happy. If they said that, I would be happy. You are not taking responsibility for your own happiness. And people can like you one day and they hate you the next day. That is, okay, Gen Zs, sorry. You got antenna up right now looking for, do they like me or not? Literally, how many likes do I have?
Yes, they depend on that.
It's like,
who liked it, what they said, what compliments, and then they compare each other.
Yeah. And that's their choice. It's all choice. If they want to do that, if it makes them feel good, let them do it. Not my life. Sorry, little tough love. Don't complain about other people if you have your eyes on them. Okay? No one put a gun to your head to go and look at their lives. It's none of my business. I do this all the time. Nom, nom, nom. None of my business.
And,
Yeah.
not only that you can control that,
Mhm.
you spend so much of your own precious time, which I always
You
say,
can't
you
get
can't
over.
buy time.
Correct.
You can make more money. So
That's-
don't waste your time.
That's correct. No do-overs, no singular, no
No.
rollover, one and done. Can't unring a bell. So whatever you say, you have to take responsibility for. The shelf life of time is fixed. There is no way to get that back. So that's why I juice my life every single moment. I do. And that expression, jack of all trades, master of none, that's bullshit-talky. There's no such thing as you can only be good at one thing. This is one life. Unless you're Shirley MacLaine, I don't know if I'm coming back or not. All I know is I have this life. So it's your choice whether you go home and sit in front of a series. And I love a good series, but people are in a habit now. They sit down from 8 till 11 and watch a series. And then if it's really good, they don't get enough sleep because they're watching it until 1. And then they complain that they hate their job. And then we fall into that pattern. There's so much more. You've got technology that will teach you everything on the internet for free. So why not play? Yeah. I say play with, my assistant Google, free. It's called Playing with Your Life. I want people to.
Oh, what is that?
What?
I never heard about that. The play with the assistant Google.
Oh, that's me. I mean,
I'm like, okay, is there an app like that can play with your life? I'm like, this it's GPT.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's very easy. I have my clients sit in front for 15 minutes a day. And they take that breath that I did with you. Whatever word comes up, they put it in the keyword and see what comes up. And then they click and then see what comes up. And people have second, third, fourth careers. They've found jobs that they love better, that are closer, that have more money, that they never would have known about if they just went to work, got pissed off, said, I will live for my weekends and my vacations, come home exhausted, watch stupid TV, and then it's Christmas again. So that's on you. That's not on, you can't blame your boss. You can't blame your friends. You can't blame your insignificant other.
But for a lot of people, I feel like it's so hard to actually know what they want, who they want to be. And I changed so many careers. I have so many degrees, but I was always open that it's okay. There's certain things you want in your 20s and 30s, you want completely different in your 40s. And I think because, the way that's a lot of generations are raised, you're going to get your college degree and this is it. This is your one path. I tell my kids, I'm like, you can be whoever you want to be.
Good for you.
Sometimes you don't even have to get a degree. It's just you have to feel it in your heart and believe in yourself. Believing in yourself that you can do. My daughter always tells me and her therapist is like, I love my mom because nothing is impossible for her. And I said, well, how many times did we actually prove that nothing is impossible? Just believing and doing it. And it is scary sometimes, but that's the only way.
When you have 7 out of 10 of us who've grown up with messages that are counter that, they're 100% counter that. Who do you think you are? Why do you think you're better than anybody? You're nothing. That's not easy. And so it's so important. Everywhere I go and speak, I go to a school. Every time I see a kid, I go up to the kid with a mother's permission and say, can I just give her a little message from Dr. Marissa? And they all say yes. So I get down to her eye level or his eye level and I say, you know that you can do, be, or have anything that your heart desires. And that little message was given to me when I was 10 years old. And when I was in grade 10. So how old is that? It doesn't matter. I was in grade 10 and my math teacher, JJ Bristow, knew that my home life was not good. He could just see it in my spirit. And he kept me after class one day and he told me that. And it was transformative because someone believed in me. Wow. And that we can do for each other. We don't have to know the child, but knowing that it's 7 out of 10 of us, then it's time for all of us because we're all connected.
Yes, that's so true. I want to talk about your Happy 88 mission.
Yes.
Why 88 number?
So I know you thought I was Swedish, but I'm actually Chinese, and Chinese 8 is a homophone for good fortune. So ba is Mandarin for 8, fa is Mandarin for good fortune. So 88 is double good fortune. So that's why I say 88. It's also a great prescription for perfectionists, because perfectionists want 100%. You'll never be 100%. 88 is pretty good,
Pretty
right?
good. It's about 50.
It's about
closer
50.
to 100.
It's pretty, right? It's pretty
Yes.
numbers, synchronous, infinity. So that's why I say 88. Now, when I first started my mission, it was 8 million happy people in the next 8 years. I hit the 8 million. So I had to make it more.
Count them?
I went, when the book was released, I hit #1 Amazon national bestseller. I went on tour and I was interviewed on ABS-CBN, largest TV network in the Philippines, that had a reach. The people that watched were like 3 or 4 million. And then I went to China and also on Szechuan TV and other broadcasting in Beijing. And that had a distribution of like, I think at the time, like 9 million. So I already busted through 8 million. So I said, okay, fine, we'll make it 88. That's why it is there.
I see. I want to ask you, for parents who are listening to us right now, how to raise a happy child?
Be happy yourself.
It's
Easy
hard to
answer.
teach something when you're not happy yourself.
Yes, you cannot. I am not angry at you. I love you so much. No, you don't. It's got to come. Are you happy 88% of the time? Are you?
I'm for sure.
Okay. So not everybody can say that. So that's the first question. Get your eyes off of your kid and onto yourself. But this is also something that is not taught.
I can tell you why I'm happy 88% of the time or more. My daughter actually said, Mom, because you're constantly chasing your dreams. I'm not living through my kids' dreams. Meaning like if I didn't succeed as a person, I'm putting what I wanted to create into them, pushing them. No, I'm chasing my own dreams. So I'm constantly happy.
Yeah.
And they also look, okay, well, Mom was doing this before. Now she's doing this. She's going through ups and downs. That's life. They don't have that fear of starting over because they see me doing it all the time. And they know I'm there for them. And I'm always encouraging. I'm always supporting. And that's why I think I'm happy, because I'm living a full life.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's your truth and your definition. And you don't expect your children to define happiness the same way you do.
Yes.
I think that is very important. Is my definition of happiness is completely different than my one daughter's and completely different than my other daughter's. So your question was, how do you teach your children about happiness? It's not defining happiness the way you define happiness. The happiness always starts with, do I like myself? Am I my own worst critic? Do I have problems with compliments and taking them? Am I harder on myself than I am on everyone else? You're probably not happy. If you are your best friend, then you are the one that says, you know what? That wasn't my best move, but oh well.
So constructive criticism is still good.
For children.
For an adult. Or for children too. I mean, I don't tell them you're a failure. I'm just saying, hey, I think this is where, we need to work on.
It's all balance again, right? Parents that punish children, parents that over punish children. Certainly you don't want to beat your children, but moving the other way where there are no limits at all, that's also in my belief system, that's not exactly healthy either. So it is balance. And again, my balanced parenting, I don't tell parents how to parent. I just say that in my home, one of the things that help my children adjust and also love their lives more than some of their friends maybe was when they were old enough to understand gratitude, the concept of gratitude. So age 4, 5, 6 in the car on the way to school, I have them start with 3 gratitudes. What are you grateful for? They have to say it. That was a mandatory thing. And then when they were 2 years older than that, I added appreciation. What do you like about your mom, about your sister, and about yourself? And that is a way to help your children. It's not telling them, but asking them to discover. On the way home from school, you don't say, how was your day? And they say, it was fine. And then they go back on their phone and you go back talking and arguing or strategizing on the phone with your business. That's not how it's done. This is captive time. Driving back with your kids, they had to do 5-minute report on their day. And I would time them. And then all the time, oh, Mom, come on. That was it, nothing else. And then they'll go, oh, I forgot. You're not going to believe blah, 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 blah. And then it becomes this beautiful music of, I would call it my mamily, because I was a single mom. So not a family, but a mamily. And whenever we picked up kids to take them to school, they were mortified because I would make them do it. But then they were, Dr. Mom, I love this and stuff like that. So my children, I'll never forget, they came home one day after a play date and they said, Mom, I can't believe they don't say I love you for no reason. What's going on? And then I was driving them to a little junior women's leadership down to San Diego. And I'll never forget, there were 2 of my older daughter's friends. And I'm driving. I'm like, I love driving. And the little girl in the back goes, I've never heard an adult say that. So, and I was the home. I'm so grateful. I have a curly haired adopted son or bonus son, and a red hair, a bonus son, and a Latin bonus son. So they learned that the most important thing is their relationship with themselves first. And then after that, it's their relationship with the people around them that they care about and that care about them. So if you can model that for your children, I think that you're going to have happy kids. Now, please, if you do not have happy children, if your children are drug addicted, if your children are, not doing well in school, or your children don't know what they want to do and they're going, from thing to thing to thing, one, it's okay. It's really okay. Like you said, that whole prescription of what is supposed to be, sweetheart, it doesn't work. We've seen how that model does not work. And if you have a chance, go to my YouTube TV channel, free subscribe. I have a little short film that I put together during COVID called PPP, Post-Pandemic Possibilities. And it allows you to question things that you think are true, like kids that are young. Don't ask them, what do you want to be when you grow up? Right? That pigeonholes them into one thing that society wants. What's your major going to be? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? No, you don't know. That's a good thing. I wrote an article, a monthly column I used to write for the Sun paper. And I walked in the store and she had it like 10 years later by the cash register, because she was so astonished that someone would write about the opportunity that school has to have children actually try different careers. That's what school's for.
Exactly.
School is for a place for people to try different things, to find out, what am I good at? What am I not good at? What do I like? What I don't like?
You don't know who you want to be for the rest of your life.
And you shouldn't know,
and
really.
You shouldn't know. And how can you even know without trying?
Yeah. And who says you can't be 18 different things? I was told my entire career, you can't do that. You need to focus, Dr. Marissa. You cannot chase 8 rabbits at the same time. And it's like, watch me. And now, last year, someone called me.
Says, you cannot watch me now.
Yeah.
So you did.
So
you became 8 different professions.
Yeah.
You helped over 8 million people. And unfortunately, on this happy note of happiness, we're going to have to say goodbye.
Yes.
Because the time is up. But thank you so much for giving this amazing, techniques and methods how to be happy. And it's work. Happiness is work.
Yeah. Well, it's a choice.
It's a choice.
Yes. And it isn't work in the it is a joy ride of life. Many stops. It's your choice where you want to get off, but please do take the joy ride of life. 8 Ways to Happiness from wherever you are, available everywhere. Happy to go through it with you. But if you tune in on Mondays, I give a free audiobook copy away. So just Google Asian Oprah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marissa. Thank you.